Oh, sorry, 9220.
9220. Let's get him in, bro. If you're not a hater, we're gonna hang up on you.
And then
Because you ain't donate.
6816.
So, if you better be a hater or have a critique or something. I don't know.
Well, let's try him. 9220.
Hello?
Yes.
Yo, what's up, man?
What's up, man?
Hey, can you guys hear me?
Yes, we got you
Yes,
loud and
sir.
clear. Go ahead.
Okay, yeah, I love you guys, but I am a critic. I just have
Sure.
one point that I feel like Myron doesn't, he's not correct on.
Okay.
So basically, you tell women to search for a guy versus, put their career first, put their education first. And I just feel like we live in an economy to where the average man can't support a family, let alone just a woman or, a woman or kids. So I just feel like that's just like bad advice because it's not practical.
Okay, so you think it's impractical to tell women to prioritize finding a man?
Well, yeah, to tell them to prioritize finding a man over, finding a job, finding an education, stuff like that.
Well, I've always said it that there's absolutely nothing wrong with women going to school and educating themselves and entering the workforce. But what I am saying is that comes second to the man that they meet and the family. So I'm okay with a female going to school, working, getting an education, all that stuff, getting a job. But my thing is, once she finds the man, right, and this is on her to pick the right guy, by the way, that can take care of her or put her in a position where she doesn't necessarily have to pay a majority of the bills or she doesn't have to split, then she prioritizes the family. That's what I've always said. I've never said, don't go to school, don't get a job. I'm saying that needs to come second to once you find the man. The career now becomes, second place.
Okay, so with that being said, so say they do get married to the guy.
Yeah.
They have a family, but they don't have a career. They don't have, educational background, so they can't easily just, find a job if they were to get divorced. Say the husband does cheat on the wife and, ends up leaving the wife. I mean, that kind of puts the woman at a, really, a shitty situation because, she doesn't have any sort of backing.
That's an absolute, that's a fair point, very fair point. And I would argue that's one of the biggest, excuses that women use for why they need to be educated and go to school and make money and everything. But the reality is simply men aren't the ones walking away from relationships. Even if a man has an affair and has sex with another woman, the likelihood is that he's going to go back to his wife. I mean, there's a phrase called "it's cheaper to keep her," and the reason why that is because men understand that the family courts are absolutely designed to destroy that man should he do exactly what you just said. Find another woman, knock her up, leave his wife, etc. There's serious consequences for a man doing that if a woman doesn't have education and money coming in and the guy leaves her. So men rarely, if ever, leave their wife, realistically speaking. Is it possible? Yes, but is it probable? No.
You're basing it off of statistics, but I just feel like a woman can't realize that because if you're looking at it from her perspective, if the husband cheats on her, that's a threat to their relationship, and that's like a direct threat to their marriage, meaning she could lose finances, she could lose support. It's just like telling a woman to accept cheating is it's not smart. It's not smart to tell them that.
I think it's extremely smart because
not practical.
I think it's extremely smart and it's extremely practical because if you know that a majority of men are prone to cheat and will cheat if given the opportunity, it's better to prepare yourself for the uncomfortable truth versus hoping that something else will happen. I always use the analogy, if I tell you it's raining outside and I hand you an umbrella and you choose not to use the umbrella and you go outside and you get wet, whose fault is it? Well, it's your fault because I gave you the umbrella, I gave you the necessary tools to shield yourself from the water, yet you decided, you know what? Water's just going to roll off my back. I'll be fine. No, you're going to get drenched like everyone else that walks into the rain. So what I tell women is be prepared where if your man does have an affair or has sex with another woman, because most men will, if given the chance and opportunity without getting caught, let's just be honest here. We're all men, okay? Just don't leave for something like that. Because more than likely, as Fresh always says, you're going to go to the next guy and he's going to probably do the same thing. And then the unfortunate thing is the more money and status the man has, the more likely this is going to happen. So it's a vicious cycle. So I tell women, hey, this is how you prepare for being with men in general. And it's not that big of a deal. Women have very unrealistic fears a lot of the times.
Okay. I mean, I personally, I disagree. I don't think that's an unrealistic fear.
What's unrealistic
I mean,
specifically
I
that you
think that's
disagree
a
with?
very,
That the man will leave her?
right. If he was to cheat on her, I mean, that's a realistic fear that he could, completely
But he's not going to
leave
leave.
the family,
But he's
no
not going to
longer
leave.
support the family, and then the wife's left on her own.
Women initiate 80% plus, bro, of breakups and divorces, etc. So there's a minority chance that he's going to leave, but men rarely leave women, especially with the exact scenario that you gave, where he's the primary breadwinner, he makes all the money, he's the leader of the household, etc. He's going to be punished even more so if he leaves his wife because she doesn't have money.
Yeah, you're forgetting, caller. The family courts
okay, yeah,
are in women's favor, and if he's making the money, she shouldn't get half.
You have a valid point. You
Yeah.
have a valid point, but what I'm trying to say is that your point will be defeated through the family courts. That the family courts were designed specifically for the scenario you just gave.
Yeah, so they're gonna be punished.
So they're gonna take an L if they try to leave their chick with all that leverage.
Okay, I mean, I see what you're saying, but I just feel like that's not the average guy. The average guy doesn't have enough money to support an entire family. So it's like if you're talking to the average guy he has a wife that's most likely working, also supporting the family.
Yeah.
So if he was to cheat, he doesn't have the same amount of leverage versus a guy that's literally supporting the family all on his own income.
Okay, well, in that scenario, because now you're switching scenarios. In that scenario, she's still going to get her pound of flesh.
Really benefit.
She's still going to get in that scenario because now you're switching scenarios. Now you're saying, well, okay, well, she needs to have an education to be able to back herself up. Okay, well, we just debunked that. So now you're saying, okay, what if she does have a job and they're splitting the bills and he cheats on her anyway? Well, she's still going to get her pound of flesh out of him. She's going to probably take the kids. That's going to give her child support money. He's going to suffer at some point, bro, is what I'm trying to say. Men rarely, if ever, initiate the breakups. It's the women that do that.
Right. And I see what you're saying. So with the scenario to where it's like the average couple, which is like both people are working, but the husband and wife are both working, it's not practical to tell the husband to say, hey, I'm going to sleep around when I can, and I feel like you should accept it. That's not practical advice.
Caller, do you watch the show?
I watch the show all the time.
So then you would know that when we tell guys about telling their girls, hey, this is my lifestyle, this is what I do, they're of a certain value. If he's the average guy, there's no point of him even saying that. 50-50, she'll never accept that at all. So it's kind of like, I get what you're saying, but like, we tell this for like high value guys. So get to that point.
But regular guys are gonna cheat too, though.
Yeah.
Like, so I tell girls, find the guy that you're willing to accept it from, so you kind of deal with it on the front end. So it's not gonna mess you up as bad if it comes out. But again, I think you misconstrued a couple of things that we said. We never said, yo, girls shouldn't work at all, and they need to prioritize a husband. What I'm saying is that you could work and do what you got to do until you find your man. But once you find that man, you need to submit to him and put him first and not the career and everything else. That's what we said.
Yeah, I call you missing valid points, but once again, if you heard what we said on the show, you understand that we had things to kind of cover these points as well.
Okay, yeah, I see what you're saying. I mean, I guess y'all's advice is more towards high value guys who are like, high status, high income, stuff like that.